Live. There we go. How's everyone doing? Miguel Rodriguez here for the Bakersfield Gentlemen.
The fuck?
It is the third podcast day. Frankie is with us, but he's not going to talk today. Thankfully, it's much better that way. I got him a nice magazine for him to read, so he doesn't get bored. Always sits there.
It's got lots of pictures.
Lots of numbers, lots of fantasy. That's one thing I want to touch on with everybody out there. How much fantasy you guys do during your football season? It's astounding. It's astounding. But other than that, we also have this weirdo on the show today, known as Joe of Any Last Words and the Awesomeness which she is. Joe, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been good.
I say that like I don't talk to you on the regular.
I know.
Oh my goodness. What are we smoking before we get started on this?
Are smoking the Honor Among Thieves from Sinistro. I forget exactly what size they call this.
The Trumpetta.
I believe they call this the Torpedo.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the Trumpetta, but I could be wrong.
I thought so too, but I looked on there and it said Torpedo, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, it's that cone shape, very unique shape. Got these when we went to see James last week, and that was before we got into 6 hours worth of traffic.
That is true.
Oh.
Joe, and before we get to that intro, what are you smoking today?
You know what? I got a Bahama Mama because I'm having a lot of sweet iced coffee, so I thought this would be pretty tasty with it.
Bahama Mama. Hey, Byron, how you doing, brother? Hey, guys, yes, we are going to throw on that intro now, guys. So do me a favor, share this. If you're a Sinistro fan, if you're a Bahama Mama fan, if you are a cigar fan at all, get the word out there, and we'll be back with you in 24 seconds, starting right meow. 24 seconds indeed. All right. Now let me get the comment. Eduardo loves Sinistro, and I agree, as do I. And that's why I smoke them so friggin' often, I think. James is cool. He's whatever, you know. He's a cool weirdo, but, you know, it is what it is. The cigars, wouldn't be friends with them without him. No, I'm just kidding. It's good people. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Byron, I know I said hello, but I want to make sure I say it again. And to reiterate, we are having the Honor Among Thieves in the Torpedo size, while Joe's having that Bahama Mama in what looks like a Toro, maybe a Robusto. I can't tell from here.
I think it's a Toro.
A Toro, very nice, very nice. Let me know in the comments, guys. Not maybe your favorite out there size, like not those crazy, like not talking like Culebras or, you know, that all in from like Vato cigar, which is like 21 inches and stuff. I'm talking about just the regular day-to-day smoke sizes. Like, what do you go for? Like, I know a Robusto is pretty common. I like a Toro usually just because it's that perfect length between time and enjoyment. Usually not too large of a ring gauge. But what do you guys go for? Like, if you had a top three, I guess, what would you pick? Joe, do you have a couple that you like?
I'm so horrible with remembering like names to stuff, but they're like I keep wanting to call them like boletos, like the little mini chorizos, like they're like that big. They're like a little sausage.
Oh, you know, I think that's the flying pig then. I would think, because does it have like a little pigtail sometimes?
Oh yeah, where they have like the little twisted end on them.
Yeah,
those. But like, I've had other ones that they weren't twisted on the end, but they were like little fat ones.
Little fatties. I know. I've been told on that as well sometimes. Eduardo says he likes the Perfectos. Yeah, we were talking about that. Not yesterday, Monday. With Artesano del Tobacco and the benefits of a Perfecto, and I will gotta say I think he's on the money with that. There is some fantastic sizes out there, but a Perfecto, well, it's in the name, so I'm gonna give it to him. You know, it just makes sense. Frankie's lighting his cigar now. Again, we're having the same one though today, which is, it's been different lately. We've been having different cigars, but luckily with the people being on the show, some of the guests from manufacturers have been smoking the same stuff, and today is a little kind of the similar fashion because we're smoking the same guy from the same company. Usually we'll break it up. You have one offering, I'll have a different one from them, and just see how it goes from there. But I kind of like when we're smoking the same thing because it's easier to talk about.
Mm-hmm. So before we get too far into the show, for everybody watching, Joe, do you want to let people know exactly what any last words is about, and uh, who you are and what you do, and what's life like for Joe on a typical day?
Good question.
Well, it starts about 2:30, 2:45 in the morning. Well, if you don't know, my name is Joe. I host I'm always confused on whether or not to call it a podcast or a vodcast. They left, so I'm going to keep talking. But anyway, I'm always confused on whether or not to call it a podcast or a vodcast. Some people are touchy about it. I want to call it its proper thing, but anyway, I digress. It's about, horror, indie horror, horror news, new things that are coming out, things you should see. Sorry,
No, you're good. You're good. Can you hear us still?
Yeah, I'm a little distracted, wondering if you guys are okay over there.
No, we're good. It's just we keep putting in the wrong battery. Like we got to mark them so we know which is which.
Bad battery.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, but yeah, so I do movie reviews. I interview people in all different categories of horror. And then I also have a branch off magazine with the same concept. Occasionally I talk about true crime and music. So did that answer your question?
It did. It did. And where can people find your podcast?
It's on Facebook, YouTube. If the video is kind of short, then I'll post it on Instagram as well, because now Instagram lets you do a little bit longer videos. Yeah, that's about it. I haven't really found any other places that I want to put videos.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on. There's so many different platforms.
Yeah, there really are. And it's nice to be on all of them, but it takes a lot of work. Like when I posted the picture where we're having you on the show, I got to go to Instagram, and now Instagram no longer automatically posts it to the Big Show Gentleman Facebook page. So I have to go physically post it on there. Then I got to put it on Twitter, and then got to share it to certain groups so people know. It's a headache to try to be in all the places at once. So I absolutely understand where you're coming from on that. So what other things? I mean, besides the podcast, you also do filmmaking. What kind of filmmaking do you get into, and where do you get your inspiration for that?
Well, I have ADHD, so my brain never shuts off. But I do. I don't know. I've mostly done like horror films. I've done a lot with you guys. Excuse me. I've done a lot of filming with you guys. I do want to get more into like comedy, horror comedy. Because I don't know why I laugh at a lot of horror movies. So I always want to see horror comedy. Like I'm gonna laugh anyway. At least put or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as inspiration goes, like I said, I have ADHD, so my brain never shuts off. So it's just, I can look at something and go, oh, okay. And then my brain just starts, running off with itself. So.
Okay. A couple questions for you here in the comments. Actually, one statement and one question. Be sure to check out her magazine, because you did release a magazine earlier this year. So people can get either a digital or a physical copy of that. And another issue should be out in October, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then also, we were just talking about this right before the show, but we didn't ask, when is Joe coming back to Texas?
Oh.
We're going to be on and off real quick, so I don't know.
Okay, Joe, we're going to cut out for just a second so we can switch up the battery.
Go for it.
If you want to just talk.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I know I get asked quite a bit when I'm going to come back to Texas. Hi, Richard. There was, a lot of stuff going on with the pandemic past couple of years. It was always back and forth. So timing was never right. And now it's just being able to afford and find time to go. So everything's always changing in my life anymore. Are you guys there? I see a little tiny Frank there. Now regular size.
Sorry, I had to start and restart our side in order to get the camera to work again. Always fun.
So for people who may not have been to Texas Frightmare like yourself, and Richard and us who have been, what can you tell people was your favorite part of Texas Frightmare?
Oh, meeting Lance Hendrickson from Pumpkinhead.
Mm-hmm.
He was so, you guys got me to go over there and talk to him, especially you, Frank. You were like razzing me on for sure. You're like, go over there, sit and talk to him. And like, you shoved a bunch of cigars in my face. You're like, go offer him a cigar. Go over there. And I was like, no. And you're like, do it. And I went over there and I offered him a cigar. And he said, no, I don't smoke. But if you want to sit and talk, that would be nice. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and then these two jerks like walked up and interrupted us. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. Bye. So,
Dang jerks. Always jerks out there.
yeah.
I would have to agree with the fact of like talking to the guest after hours is probably the best part. Don't be that guy that just runs up to them like, oh, let me get a picture with you when they're there to sell pictures and merchandise. But just chill. I remember the first year that we went, I saw David Arquette across the bar, and I saw the bartender. I was like, hey, let me just buy him a drink, whatever he wants, man. And he said okay, and so me and Miguel were talking. And he comes up behind us and just thanks us for the drink. And I was like, oh, man, you're welcome, bro. It's totally cool. He's like, I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to buy you guys a drink. And then he left with like 3 or 4 ladies and came back like an hour later. And sure enough, he bought us drinks, like a couple rounds of drinks, and just talked to us forever. It was really, really cool. And then, of course, for every positive, there's a negative, Ric Flair.
I wouldn't count it as a negative so much as just crazy.
Yeah, it's he's definitely a character.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
a character. So of all the projects you've been a part of so far, what has been the most the best learning experience for you on how you're gonna do what you're gonna do?
What I'm gonna do, I don't know. I've learned a lot from you guys. A lot of stuff from you guys. Yeah, just so much. I can't really pinpoint one thing, but I know I've learned a lot of stuff from you guys. So, and thank you for that.
I don't know if any of that's true. I don't even remember paying her to say that. So
Right.
that's a different one, but I'll accept it.
So we got a question here from Eduardo saying, "What is your favorite horror comedy?"
My favorite horror comedy. Well, it's also kind of a musical too, but I'm gonna say Little Shop of Horrors.
Nice.
So,
Peter, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it, brother. Little Shop is, you know what? It's never been one of my favorites. I will say that. I'm
really?
Rick Moranis?
It's okay.
He shrunk the kids and then played some football.
What do you call it? It's all right. It's not bad. It's not
Steve
bad.
Martin, a psychopath in that movie. Like, if you really think about it, he's like the dentist, but he's like super sadistic about it. And he like enjoys torturing kids like kids too. Like, he enjoys torturing them by inflicting pain in their mouth and suffering and shit. He just like, yeah, I love it. So
Yeah, he does a really good job of that. I'll give you that. Definitely.
So to give people an idea, Joe, from your perspective of horror films and where you're at, what can you tell people would be like your 3 top horror films to check out?
New, old, or coming out kind of deal, or
like your all-time 3 favorite films. Like if you're a horror fan, or if you want to be a horror fan, you need to check these 3 films out.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, Trilogy of Terror is like one of my all-time like favorite horror films.
Nice.
I think people, I implore people to like check that one out, because people are like, I never heard of that, and it's like, go check it out. It's pretty cool. The little Zuni doll is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love that thing. I laugh at that too, because just the noises that come out of it are so cheesy, but it's it's like funny horror. I like it.
Okay.
For sure, just because I believe it's so influential and it's such a classic, would be Night of the Living Dead. Like, just learn about these movies too. That's what I like people to like learn about the movies as well. Because sometimes I think it gives you more appreciation about the film and where it's coming from. and just because it's not easy. Filmmaking is not easy, no matter what budget you have.
So true.
It's fun, but it's not easy. But let's see. Third, I would have to say Shaun of the Dead, because that's my other favorite horror comedy. Would be Shaun of the Dead. I know
So that's one I've never been a fan of.
I know.
You don't like British humor though.
Fine. I'm just gonna throw that out there just as an easy one. Like, check out Shaun of the Dead for a horror comedy.
I enjoyed the heck out of that one. I'm a big fan of those guys. I forget what they call themselves because they work a lot like Broken Lizard, where it's a group of guys who create content together.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. Like, I liked Hot Fuzz a lot. Run Fat Boy Run was fun.
Paul
was fun. Yeah, Paul was really good actually. I didn't like I don't really care about this another stoner movie, but it wasn't. It was definitely not. It was way better than I gave it credit for to begin with, and it got better while watching it. So that was awesome. And Eduardo and Richard give theirs different ones right here too. Student Body is hilarious, and honestly, Richard's choice, Return of the Living Dead. As a kid, it was a little scary too. It was funny, but it was also a little scary because the makeup to it, and they're running zombies. They don't die no matter what you do. You literally have to bring them all the way down to bare ashes, or else they're gonna keep coming for you. Though, like as a kid, I think any kid out there would still get scared by that one, especially like when they show the guy getting the acid in the face and all that. It looks really great, but it's also hilarious in some parts.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, it's funny.
I was so nervous about like those 55-gallon drums, like for the longest time after seeing that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Don't know how many zombies might be in them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're actually gonna bump it and then smoke everywhere. Just, I'm dead. This sucks. Have you seen Return of the Living Dead Part 2?
That's with the Julie, right? Where she like inflicts pain on herself and stuff.
That's part 3. That's part 3 because part 2 is actually like almost a retelling of part 1, but in a small town. And the same guys do the thing. Like they open up. I don't know if it's canisters that time or if it's like a mausoleum because they're grave robbing, and it's the same actors who opened the canister in the first one, and they retell the story. And he's still looking for Tina throughout it, and it is way more ridiculous than the first one in a campy way. But the first one's better, but the second one is hilarious, just for the fun of it, just because they like, oh, let's do this.
Is that the one where they put the screwdriver to her head and she's all like the severed head? Or is that the first one?
That's the first one where they put it in her back and like they hold her body.
Like they put the screwdriver in her head. The severed head.
Oh, no, I don't remember which
that
one
could be part 2 or 3 then.
That could be like, that could be 3, 4, or 5. They made like 7 of those, I want to say 6 or 7, which are all awesome.
A lot of them started sucking too, like Diary of the Dead. That one was horrible.
Oh, you're wrong. You're just wrong.
Hated Diary of the Dead.
No, that was a Romero one though. That wasn't Return of the Living Dead movies. But it was probably my least favorite of all of them. Yeah, Diary was probably the least favorite. Survival of the Dead was better too, and that was newer.
I didn't like that either.
Yeah, I'd probably say Diary is like the bottom of the list. Again, I still enjoyed it, but it doesn't mean that good. It's like Marvel movies. There's plenty of great ones, but the rest are just like, oh god, I'm not gonna watch it again.
So, given the choice, Leatherface, Jason, Michael Myers, or Freddy Krueger, who is your favorite? Oh, without hesitation.
Without hesitation.
Why is that?
Because he's based off of Ed Gein. Ed Gein is a real person who did, like they based a lot off of Ed Gein. And if there wasn't Ed Gein, I could see somebody doing this if there was never an Ed Gein. So it's just because it can happen. So there could be some creep down the street or something like that that'll snatch you up and turn you into a lamp. So,
I mean, look at what is not Bundy, Dahmer, what he was doing with body parts. I mean, not really furniture, but he made an altar, just still pretty creepy. That's pretty bad. He tried to make some zombies. I mean, everyone's got to have a hobby, maybe get a different. And some comments here real quick. Yeah, Broken Lizard. Those guys are awesome. Richard says, check out Bloodsucking Bastard. I still have to watch that because you recommended that not too long ago, bro. And I'm like, I'm gonna catch up. What was the platform it's on again? Because I think you told me too where I could find it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And Eduardo says, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, after Day, the Living Dead series kind of went downhill a bit. I actually think after Land of the Dead, it started going downhill. At least for me.
Is Land of the Dead where they leave on helicopters? They're all like in a cattle, like on a farm.
That's Survival, I think.
Survival. Okay.
But they use mix 2 or 3 movies together, I think.
Dude, they mix easily. I'm not gonna lie.
They mix. Well, what are you talking about? You have a magazine in front of you with a bunch of dudes in pads running up against each other. They don't blend in together, but everyone, you don't know how many seasons Jamarcus Silver has been with the New York Pembertons. And when he got that trade with those other dudes, when he was coached by Tom Landry in middle school,
right?
That's what doesn't blend in together with you. That's what gets me. All right, we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But there's a fantasy football magazine sitting right here, and I don't have anything against it, but that shit blends in. All right, horror movies are different. That's yeah. We had. I gotta read this on here because I can't read that all the way over there for some reason. We had Heidnik in Philly. That was crazy. Which one was Heidnik? That name sounds so familiar. Eduardo, help me out with that one. And a couple other comments. David, how you doing? Richard, how's it going? All the way from Western Australia. And Jeff says, pretty cougar for me as a guy down the street did the whole setup in the hallway of his house. And scared the living daylights out of kids on Halloween. That is a good American right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's what should happen on Halloween. That's the whole point.
I don't know. Joe, what do you do on Halloween? Would you rather scare kids? Do you want to be out doing something, or do you just hang out at home, watch horror movies?
Actually, it's progressed into those stages over the years. I used to go party. Then I used to just pass out candy. Now, recently, the past few years, I've been decorating and passing out candy. And since my birthday's the next day, usually we just kind of hang out and party until we're drunk, and then we get into the movies. So
nice.
I feel bad for my mom. The last couple spots that she's lived at, she would go all out. She loves decorating. I mean, she's got storage rooms full of decorations for every holiday. I mean, every holiday.
Hacked.
Obviously, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are the three biggest, sorry. And I mean, she goes all out, and she also saves up coupons to get full-size candy bars to hand out. And there's been 3 or 4 years in a row where she gets 1 or 2 kids to come, because there's just not that many kids, I guess, in the area. They're just not trick or treating it so much as they were.
Shit, I'm treating at your mom's house.
Right, well, this one year she had about 7 or 8 kids come. They saw she was handing out full candy bars. I think they ran around the corner, switched a couple pieces of their outfits, and came back.
100%.
And my mom's like, "You guys, nobody else is coming. Just take what you want." So
really,
they made out that year.
That's
which
cool.
is crazy because you've seen her neighborhood. That seems like a pretty safe place for kids to walk around and collect.
There's a high school right down the road.
Yeah, what I think they need to do is, which honestly I don't even know if I would, just because Curtis, a friend of ours, if you guys haven't heard me talking about Curtis before, he's been on the show forever ago. We're gonna bring him back on. My favorite photographer, Curtis, and a horror, not a horror movie, I would say a scaring people enthusiast to the max. He does an amazing haunted house. I'm not talking just the wall builds alone that are amazing, but there's pyrotechnics. He'll get actors together for it. The theme is different every year. It is well thought out, and it is movie quality build for a haunted house. If you are going to watch a movie about a haunted house, you could just see this place, just boom, you're set into it. You're in the movie right there. Wonderful stuff. So if it wasn't for him, if he wasn't doing that, I would say find a good neighborhood, like our parents, like our mom. Get the 3 to 5 neighbors to set up one long haunted house right there, because no one has to go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk to all the neighbors, I bet you could put it on the street for that night, and I think no one would have a problem.
I say, if anything, get a permit and do it right there at the little park. Where that lake is at. You have that
Oh,
big open field piece of field right there.
That would be good. That would be smart too. I
I
like
mean, just
that.
talk to homeowners and tell them what you want to do.
Oh, the HOA and
Yeah.
whatnot. I think that would be really fun. And I know people like to do what are those trunk or treats nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. It's a safe idea, but it's not scary. We need to scare the shit out of these little kids. We need to keep them scared of strangers and not just think like, oh, you just get candy when you go up to people. Like, oh, let me get into this truck or this van because, you know, people give you candy if you're special and you're being told you're special all the time. So you got to scare kids. You got to scare them. I digress.
All right, so shifting off of the horror and scaring kids and giving them candy and whatnot. Joe, you're smoking Bahama Mama. What other cigars would you say that you are a fan of when it comes to your enjoyment of the leaf?
ooh, La Diva, which I think I have like 2 left that I'm saving for a special occasion because heard you cannot get them anymore. I don't know if that's changed or if that's true or whatever, but
Yeah, we just talked about
Can't
that a
find 'em.
couple shows ago. I was telling the guys that it's a budget stick. It's a short filled stick. It's super rustic looking. I mean, it looks like one of the cigars that you see on Tombstone. Like, oh, I wouldn't mind one of them cigars. It's got a simple paper band to it. Nothing fancy about the cigar, but for whatever reason, I absolutely love it.
yeah, it's
They're
so good.
phenomenal.
Yeah. I like those. I like trying to think. I like the jalapeno one that you got me that time ago.
Ah, yes, the Viaje. What is it called? The jalapeno, or
Mhm.
is it the pepper or something? No, it's the
Jalapeno.
jalapeno. Yeah, yeah. And they have. I think did I give you the purple or the red foil?
The purple one.
Purple foil. Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure because there's 4 iterations of that: green, purple, red,
And yellow.
and yellow. Yeah, so there's at least 4 iterations of that, guys. Someone correct me. There might be another one now. Viaje puts out some good stuff, but they put out a lot of stuff too. Um, which is nice. When a company does good work and a lot of work, that's great. Like no slight against Patel Cigars, Rocky Patel, but there's a lot in there that I don't really smoke.
Mhm.
But I do appreciate the fact he puts out so much because there's guys who really enjoy his stuff.
Yeah.
So you know what? Keep going for it. If they're buying, keep making them.
Absolutely.
But then you have other ones like the ALR from him, number 6, and the Disciple. Disciples, is that Rocky Patel, right? Yeah. Which are all really good, but that's not even a 20th of his portfolio of cigars. So it's a lot of stuff. And real quick before we continue, thanks to Joe, we actually remember what the La Diva was called because we were all sitting here with Jeremy, like right in between us, talking about that cigar. Oh, was it the lady? Was it the?
I was doing it, but I like
Cowgirl?
stopped everything to dry my hands off real quick so that I could type it in. I was like, I gotta hurry.
Yeah, you saved the day on that one because honestly, I knew we weren't right with the name because you were saying
I said
C'est La Vie. Like that, you're wrong. You're wrong, sir. But I had no idea what it was. So if you can't think of the right answer, you're still wrong too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't correct you. And thankfully, we have the savior of the day on that one, Joe, coming in strong with a diva because I don't think we gave you a full brick of them, but you got a lot of them too, right? Because we had a lot of them.
You guys have given me a lot, and Jeremy's given me a lot too. So I guess everyone just wants to give me the other La Divas, and I'll take them. So
Yeah, no complaints here either, but they were so good, and now they're gone.
Yeah, because for me, like, I don't think there wasn't anything that I could have that it didn't seem to kind of be okay with. Like, I could have whiskey and it, goes with it. I can have coffee and it goes with it. I can have tea and go with it. Water, snack on little things here and there. And it didn't seem to really kind of make it put off a little bit. Like, that makes sense what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It easily pairs with stuff, and it doesn't offset what if you're trying to enjoy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Would you enjoy it with some Vegemite?
No, because I don't enjoy Vegemite. So.
Right. Yeah. For those who might not have caught that episode, I got to be on an episode of Any Last Words. What was the title for it? What was the theme?
It was like gross food combinations, gross food combinations, because I do the creepy kitchen segment and I switch it up a lot, and I'll get people that'll like send me recipes, if you will. They're like, oh my God, you have to try this. So I make a segment every once in a while where we eat just nasty food. Or what seems nasty to us. So
yeah, I was about to say some of them were definitely nasty, but then some of them were surprisingly nice, like sour cream and Oreos. I don't really like sour cream, and all of a sudden I'm eating with the cookie.
It tasted like cheesecake. It tasted like Oreo cheesecake. It was, oh my God, so good.
100%.
I was like, I'm gonna be like 800 pounds if I don't stop this right now, because I will eat this.
Hey, that combination was a lifesaver too, because we had that friggin' one chip challenge.
You had that.
I ate it. And immediately I was like, I am going to regret the bathroom later. I regret my life decisions. Why am I hanging out with this crazy lady? All she does is make me drink and eat spicy foods. Like immediate, like 3 shades of red just like painted on. Like if you were on a Photoshop and you just like click and added it to my face, and it hurt really bad. But it wasn't spicy hurt. It just hurt. Like when you eat spice.
Oh,
what's up?
You took it like a champ, though, because you were not showing that at all. You were showing that you were sweating and that you were slightly uncomfortable because you would not calm the fuck down in your movements. You were like me with too much coffee. I'm like, you okay? You're like, yeah, I just kind of got to walk around for a minute.
I absolutely had to move around. Like, if I wouldn't have just had the little bit of jitters, all of it would have just been thinking about the pain, because it really hurt. Like our buddy Jerome did it and he threw up, like
on camera.
And that dude's not a weak guy. He knows spicy foods too. He's in Florida, and I don't think it's like his favorite. Like spice is not his favorite thing, but
right.
Nonetheless, like he's around those Cuban Americans and everyone over there. There's a lot of very unique cuisine in Florida, and spice is a big thing. Like here in California,
Cubans known for spice though?
Not like the spiciest, but it is in the food. Like everyone's got some spice. Every I would say South American and Latin American country has spice. I would say there's very few that don't. Like which one wouldn't? Like can't think of any off the top of my head.
Argentina, very bland.
Oh, very unspicy, very Argentinian flavor. I have no idea.
I just want to say a quick thank you to Jeff for his comment. Yeah, I absolutely love the new microphone setup with the soundboard. It's worked really well. I mean, the old microphones, they were good. Then we got that a Snowball.
No, it's oh my goodness. Now no, the Snowball was one below it. That is the Yeti mic.
The Yeti, that was a good upgrade, and now these work absolutely fantastic. I have the headphones plugged into them so I can hear everything as well. So little by little, guys, we are upgrading everything to perfection.
Yeah, and the good thing about this is these are just the base microphones that came with it. The soundboard is wonderful. So the next thing to upgrade, when that happens, like first I want to upgrade the camera as far as like how I set it up, because I need to get the battery situation, because the battery just is not made for long content like this. But once I hook that up, and maybe get a new light for that for the table, just because I like to wear my hat. But as you can see, my face gets super dark when I put the hat on. I like to have my hat on. These mics is the next thing that's going to get updated. They're good mics, but we can get even better ones.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely decent. It's just these stands are super tall. I'd like to have it more like right here.
No, I agree. But then again, you should be standing.
Well, I need to be standing.
Not standing, but sitting up straight.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, Joe, I got to ask, given your filmmaking side, what would be like your ideal location to film? Would you like to be like room 1908 where you're in a hotel? Would you like to be at a campground? Would you like to be, in an abandoned city? Would you like to be like somewhere religious, like a church or something? I mean, if you were going to make a horror film and you had your choice of locations, where would you choose?
A castle.
Castle?
Ooh, nice.
Castle. Or a school, like a big university, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the old big buildings with the stained glass pillars and shit.
What do you call it? Well, you shouldn't stain your glass. I mean, I don't like putting stains on anything. It doesn't make it look clean. But I guess that's pretty cool. I guess
just eat some Tide Pods.
Oh man. Actually, okay. I've already talked about this on camera somewhere. I know I have. But on Airbnb there are a couple castles available, right?
No. Are there?
Like 20, 25 people castles for like $2,000 a night. So let's say if we get If we get 20 people to want to film a movie and everyone's willing to pitch in $100 a night for say like 4 nights, we could film a decent something in a castle. Like no problem. We'd have to like plan it out really well beforehand and make sure we don't break anything. And what I'm obviously is assuming is an amazing house and probably a landmark in that area. But there are at least 3 in the U.S. that I remember looking up. There are plenty across the pond over there, as them Brits would say. But there are options, and there are like there's mansions in there. There is like you've checked it out before too, like bungalows and stuff. And I want to say there's one in even Mexico where it's like a very large castle, maybe not as fancy as the other ones, but it's like $500 a night, and that one still fits like 15 to 20 people every night if you want, and you could rent that out for like 2 weeks, and it'd be the same budget as 4 nights at the other place or something, and it's like right next to the ocean. Like you go a couple blocks over and you're at the beach or something, if I remember correctly. The options to film in different places nowadays is phenomenal. Like we were talking about with the new adventure you're going on with the camper, utilizing that. I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, because it's free. So
that's the number one resource right there. Is if you already have it, write it into your script.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. For some reason, it hit me hard.
Little hiccup.
So, favorite Halloween activity, and I'm talking Scrambler Park Maze, Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, Magic Mountain, Not Scary Farm, Disneyland even has a little something. I mean, obviously it's not super scary, but they do have a little something that they do. I know there's another one like in LA or something. I just forgot the name of it. I know there's one up north that's supposed to be really good too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been to Disneyland one. I wanted to go for the Nightmare Before Christmas, but I think that one stretches like till the end of the year, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially for Nightmare because it has the Haunted Mansion. They make Christmassy and horror at the same time, which is really fun.
Yeah, I like the Haunted Mansion, but I've always wanted to go there for that. I would say that Halloween or Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios is like my favorite thing to go to. That is awesome. That is so cool. It's so much fun. I want to try to go this year. And the other thing that I like to do is go to Murray Family Farms, because they do like the corn mazes, and then you get on the tractor and they take you on a tour of the farm, and then they drop you off in a pumpkin patch for 10 minutes and you get to like pick what pumpkin you want that's left in the field.
That's pretty cool.
I like doing that. So
okay,
then I buy goodies. So
yeah,
my favorite part of Halloween Horror Nights is being told, yeah, we have to go to the bathroom. We'll be right back. Okay, cool. And then an hour later, oh yeah, we went and got some more drinks, and then we went and did this and that. Like, oh, that's fun.
We were sitting here waiting for you fools.
You had phones?
You LL Fool Jays leaving us there. We just thought you were in the bathroom. Like, damn, these lines are super long.
Mm-hmm.
There's no line for the women's restroom right now. What's
going on? Now, speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, because it's my favorite thing to do as well. What has been one of your favorite mazes that you've gone through at Halloween Horror Nights? Would it be what was it called? What had all the different monsters in the same house?
Oh, the Redux.
Yeah, that one.
What
was it? The one where the Child's Play and he's there in the front making fun of people. Was it Walking Dead? Was it the tram ride where you get off halfway and you walk through the back lots? What was one of your favorite, if not your favorite, attraction at the Halloween Horror Nights you've been to?
Walking Dead was really, really cool, but I didn't go to it during the Halloween Horror Nights. Like that, they had that when I went a different time, so I don't know if maybe it was different. But I went to the Walking Dead before it was on the Hollywood Horror Nights. Anyway, the other one I really liked was Poltergeist. The Poltergeist house was so cool. I loved that so much because they used like the light effects.
Yeah.
Like the holograms and shit like that, like for the ghost, and then you had like the tongue crawling across the counter.
Ooh, oh yeah, I forgot about. Oh man,
Yeah, that one was cool. I like that one a lot.
definitely a lot of fun. And Richard, you know, yes, we're gonna get a castle, and we're just gonna party it up in there. That's also not a bad idea. Probably shouldn't smoke cigars in those because they don't like that when you go to Airbnbs usually. But we'll figure it out. Figure out a workaround.
And Richard says, if you were gonna create a cigar, what kind of cigar would it be, and what would you call it? So I'm guessing, say, like, what kind of flavors would you want out of a cigar you made, and what would you call it?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, coffee and brown sugar, because I've had very few coffee cigars that I actually liked. So I would like to do a coffee one, but like a coffee and brown sugar or something like that, or coffee and vanilla. And I'd call it the Loco Moco Jojo.
I can see that on a band. I can see that going very well. Jeff says, scariest castle he's been to is in the UK, in Scotland, called the Stirling Castle. Actually, that sounds very familiar. Like, that sounds like pretty famous, scary castle. Like, paranormal and haunted activities, like, rampant there, from what I hear. And it just the way it's built is just beautiful and eerie at the same time. So, definitely jealous, Jeff. I got to check that out myself because I've always wanted to take a tour of that kind of stuff. Love medieval castles. I love the time period and learning about it. Always wanted to go check it out firsthand. Definitely. I wish we had more stuff like that in the U.S. Like, but we do have other cool stuff. So it is what it is. It's a good trade-off.
Yeah. So when it comes to horror films, Joe, what's your favorite genre between the three of these? Serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
What would you call it?
Real quick, Eduardo, you have a good one too, brother. We'll see you soon.
Like Poltergeist. What'd you call that?
Paranormal
activity kind of stuff.
Well, that's a movie.
Or religious backing, like Exorcist.
Damn.
I was gonna say, like, those made for TV Christian movies are not horror movies. Those are just, yeah.
Some of them are really bad. Have you seen some of them?
They're very hard to watch sometimes. But they make a ton of money. They make them for 20,000. They sell them to the network for 150, and then they sell DVDs to 500,000 people.
Yeah,
it's crazy how much those things make.
Sounds legit to me. I'll take it. I don't know. I guess maybe it depends on like my mood, but for the most part, I guess serial killer ones. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's always been the religious part. I mean, growing up Catholic, going to Catholic school, and then watching The Exorcist with my mom, and for me, it's always been religious stuff. It's always scared the shit out of me the most.
Oh yeah. And again, that was just reading the Bible sometimes. So pretty scary. I was like, what? That's in there? But no. The Exorcist is, I don't know if it scares me anymore because I've seen it so many times, but it's just one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Oh, here's a good question, Joe. How many horror films have you made, and what is your favorite one?
I made half of one, and then the pandemic hit. I've mostly worked with you guys on horror films, and murder films. Just murder. We just like hang around and film each other doing murder shit.
Pretty good point. And then real quick too, Brian, the JSK could do that for Joe. Riste has a new way of infusing flavor in cigars where it's subtle, and it would be a Munchies blend with coffee and brown sugar, vanilla. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And Brian, I saw your message. Don't worry. I was trying to put off sending some stuff out because we were supposed to get some other things that were supposed to be here. We just talked to some graphic artists, and I'm kind of bummed because I wanted to send a little special thing out because I owe cigars to Brian, like a bunch of them, and I wanted to include something that now I can't because we're waiting even longer. It's a lot of fun, and not even just California Dreaming Volume 2 stuff, guys, because I wanted to send for those waiting. I was waiting for things in hand. I was like gonna surprise, which is one of those things we play a little close to the chest, but I just can't hide it anymore. It's just taking longer than we wanted. But by no means is that a bad thing because I am very excited with what is coming, and I think you guys are going to be too. Everything should be ready for 5 year at least, to announce, to either send out or to have ready to fully talk about and fully give descriptions on for the 5-year. Which we have like 7 weeks, 6 weeks for that. So at least it'll be ready then. That's silver lining, but I wanted it at least like a month before, so we could all smoke it together for 5 years, or at least know that it's coming. So it's just, I'm a little sad how slow things have been this year as far as that goes. But then again, everyone's had those problems. Not just there's been a lot of issues as far as like logistics go, and I am amazed and impressed with how well the bigger guys have done with it, because they know what they're doing. Like we didn't go to, but we saw at TPE a convention just on logistics, and they had like, I would say 100 companies sponsor, and different companies from tech to food to entertainment, and all of them needed nothing but logistical help, like saving hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Just like, well, no, don't ship it like this, ship it like this, and you get it a little better. And then, oh, don't go through this particular tax loophole because you could save more money if you just pay it over here. So I'm like, these guys were about it, and that was really impressive.
I can't see the name, but it says cheers from Germany.
Let me put it on screen then real quick. Sorry. Parzival. Hey, how you doing? Over from Germany. Very nice.
Over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're enjoying the show so far.
Oh, and I'm so sorry, I can't read the screen today for some reason.
What is your favorite horror soundtrack?
My favorite horror soundtrack?
That's a good question right there.
Ooh,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
No. Although Danny Elfman is pretty dope. Shit, I just had it in my head too. God damn it. Oh, Queen of the Damned.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I have not seen that in forever.
Oh, I want to watch it. Interview with the Vampire.
Love Interview with the Vampire. I don't really remember the score all that well, but I think it was just that kind of good that it just blends in with everything so well, because everything's really good.
No, I heard they were remaking that.
Yes. Put me on the panel. I'll shave my head smooth with foam and razor. If a woman smokes live live on the stream.
Oh, dang.
She's already smoking live on the stream. You know what? I will message you after this. Drunken Child. Oh my god. We gotta start doing more stuff. We gotta do like a Saturday show dedicated to just stuff like that. And gosh dang it. I will send you an email. We'll make that work. If you're serious, we will totally make that work.
Yes. We will bring Joe back. We will have you on the show. Shave your head.
We'll shave her head too for you. Don't worry. Boom. It's like, that's not that. You got plenty of hats to choose from. That's something I haven't seen you do. Where are the hats lately? What's going on with the wigs?
They're in a bag. So I was worried, so I wasn't having to do my hair all the time, but then I just dyed it. I just kind of letting it breathe now.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, and I've been on a break for a while too, so I haven't. They've just kind of been sitting over there for a minute. So.
Okay. No worries, brother. Yeah, we're live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Whenever you can make it, we appreciate you being on. All right.
Okay. Interview with the Vampire is going to be a series on AMC.
I
don't know how I feel about that.
There's a lot of good series lately, but I mean, the Resident Evil series on Netflix is not getting some love. I hear it's like not what people are looking for.
Yeah.
And I didn't really watch the Bates Motel series.
I liked it. Okay.
What is her name from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Nurse Ratched.
Oh, that was
that
okay.
series was pretty fun. It was okay. It wasn't like so. True, very true. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about Interview with the Vampire series. It could be great. It could be great though.
We shall see. Everything has to be a show or a remake anymore, so we shall
nothing original.
Which hurts because there's so many good things out there. You know what? Like it was not a remake. It is an original story for it. Prey was really good. Prey on Hulu. The Native Americans versus the Predator. Native American tribe and a bunch of French trappers with those old school flintlocks and
okay, right there, it's not true that it was a bunch of French trappers.
That's the first people that were in the U.S. basically, as far as like non-settlers. They were a bunch of trappers.
They ain't gonna fight.
They tried, it didn't work out. That was not good. And then the last guy, the biggest dude, he did run away and surrender. So it kind of was very
He
French.
flip flop sides.
Not even he just straight up ran.
Wow.
Straight up ran from it. But it's a great friggin' movie. They did a great job telling the story. If you go to Hulu, they have an entire version dubbed in the original Comanche instead of them speaking English. So you have to listen to it in subtitles, and you listen to the actual language of the Native American people, which I thought was really cool.
That is cool.
Kind of like Apocalypto, how they did it in what language was that? It wasn't.
I don't know. I don't know if it was supposed to be like Mayan or Aztec, but
it wasn't. They did it in a different language, which I thought was really smart, and it really did play into the movie. And there was a meme going around, and I don't know how you feel about this, Joe. I want to hear your opinion of using that Prey formula as like a cookie cutter for new horror movies. Like, get some xenomorphs and throw them on a pirate ship. Like, they stole some treasure, and they didn't realize inside were a couple of friggin' eggs for the face suckers ready to go after people. And then it starts on a pirate ship. Or
and then Captain Sparrow runs up and goes, "Where's all the rum going?"
And then boom, what do you call it? Pops out of his stomach right there. Or a feudal lord in Japan accidentally opens the Pandora's box and Hellraiser starts in Japan, or something like that. So instead of telling stories where we tell them all the time in modern time, which is cool, it's still a lot of really good stories out there, but set it in time periods that would completely change the dynamic of how they dealt with the problem, how they saw the problem, and if they could even handle it to begin with. So if you could pick a horror movie monster, creature, or even like a serial killer, like if you wanted to throw Leatherface into a new time period, where would you throw him?
Leatherface, throw him in the Renaissance period, or the Victorian era.
So he'd be a more horrible Jack the Ripper.
Basically.
New Hellraiser coming to Hulu. Yeah, and that's going to get an R rating. Like, they're going full out on that one too. It's not going to be it's not going to be a watered down Hellraiser from what I hear, at least. And I hope it's true that those are the rumors, where it's going to be brutal as Hellraiser should be. Now, I would pick, honestly, I love Predator, so I want to see more of that, or the Xenomorphs for that matter, Vietnam during the war. Like, there's always been those couple of like stories about Vietnam where lights come and either a group of people they were fighting or another battalion disappears and they never see them again. Like, helicopters go into an area and they disappear, not shot down, no signal, just gone. And you can't really tell people that over the radio, especially then, because everything was terrible. Like, well, let's not scare everyone. But then they have little like starting to declassify, like, yeah, we saw something over here come in and out of the water so fast that there's no way it was Russian technology being given to the local insurgents. It was just something we can't explain. We don't have it, and we're spending more money than anybody in the world on this kind of stuff, and we still have no idea what this is. So they're true. I don't know if it's true stories or if it's just what they saw at the time. But either way, it's terrifying.
And we got Matt joining us over in Modesto.
Hey, Matt, how you doing, brother? And then Richard, what does that comment say? I wanted to see a good Alien vs. Predator. I actually liked the first one. The second one was terrible. It could have been better, though, Richard. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Alien vs. Predator would be a lot of fun. Oh, that's another one. Then, Joe, who would two verses that you want to see? Like, Freddy versus Jason was fun. It was campy, but it could have been better. Who would you throw up against each other? Make them fight.
Ooh, does it have to be a monster?
Yeah, do whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. I would say, American Psycho and Norman Bates.
Ooh, I give my money to American Psycho. Gosh dang it, what is his name in the movie?
I forget Christian Bale's character's name.
Oh my god! And he says it like the very first line. My name is da, 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 and he gives a whole rundown of what he does every day. And from that moment, like, this is gonna be awesome. Doing good, guys and gals. You know where I'll be smoking in a few. Absolutely, brother. Good. Get on over there. I miss the club.
Yeah.
Modesto Cigar Club, for those who may not know, is in Modesto. The name says club, but you can go in. You are invited, and you are encouraged, and you will not leave there without a cigar that you are definitely going to enjoy. because they have aisles of cigars.
Patrick Bateman.
Thank you so much.
Why can't I remember Jason Bateman, which is an awesome actor? Why can't I remember Patrick Bateman?
It just happens. One of those moments you have a brain fart. I do it all the time.
I do like the club. We got to meet up with Jeff over there and have a cigar once.
Yeah, it's
cool.
a great spot. It really is.
But we are coming up to time, guys, and I do have a little bit more to talk about. So we're gonna let Joe go. Joe, you want to let people know when the magazine is coming out, when they can look forward to maybe your next project,
the next issue,
next issue coming out. When can they look forward to your next project being available? Where you maybe plan to release it, and where they can find your podcast at what times, and how they can support your show.
Okay. Well, the next episode, I do this every time. Next issue of Any Last Words magazine is going to hit online for digital and physical release on October 1st. It's going to be the big Halloween fall issue. Any Last Words, you can catch that on Facebook, YouTube, either live or pre-recorded, whatever I do that week, on Mondays and Fridays at 7 p.m. California time. Find me on Instagram, TikTok that I'm never really on, YouTube, Facebook, and what was the other question?
You have a Patreon?
I do. I have a Patreon. At Any Last Words. What else? There's so much. PayPal, Cash App.
JoanlyFans.com. Joanly. I like that. Put when we hop you off, put the link for the Patreon in the description then, yeah? Or in the comments, please.
Okay, for sure.
All right.
I'm on break right now. Just to let everyone know, I've been on break for the past couple weeks. I am actually coming back October 1st when I release the next issue of the magazine. So I don't have any episodes right now. It's just going to be repeats.
Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. I cannot wait for a triumphant return on the 1st or the beginning of October. All right, people. Joe, always a pleasure. I will talk to you soon. Oh, absolutely, anytime. And what do you call it? We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
All
right, bye, Joe.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys. So that was Joe over Any Last Words podcast. You could always check her out for some fun stuff.
Yep.
And real quick before we go, you guys, I just want to talk to you guys really quick about fantasy football. If you guys are playing, if you guys are not playing, why are you not playing? I just want to show you guys. I picked this up, Lindsay Sports Fantasy. This is by far my favorite guide for fantasy football. You guys pick this up at Barnes & Noble for $10. And my favorite part about it is inside it actually gives you a top 200 players plus a position ranking sheet. So you can use that when you are doing your draft. You can mark off players and their position as the draft goes, so you know who's still available and who's should be at the top of your list. And actually, I really like this one because most everybody had Christian McCaffrey at 2, and with him being hurt the last 2 seasons, I just don't see how that's possible. They have him here at 6, I believe. 6, yeah, which I think is a much better rating for him. So that's why I went with this one instead of the other ones. There's some other good ones too. Don't get me wrong. This is just the one I think was my favorite out of the bunch. So, yeah. And we still have some time. So if anybody wants to get a league going, we can definitely do that. We just need 8 people. So, well, not 8, 6. We'll play.
Yeah, sure.
So if you guys want to, if anybody wants to do that, let me know. We have a couple weeks before we have to finalize it. So we'll talk more about that on Friday.
I just don't want money. I don't want to do anything for it. No, I think yeah, that's the one thing because I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna just hand over all my buckaroos. I don't have that much knowledge. I don't have that much football knowledge. Not enough to win at least because some of these guys are way more into it. Oh yeah, and the win pattern is gonna be this, that day, and his meal or his diet hasn't been good for kicking. I'm like, what?
He had a really good paella. Might slow him down.
He had a very heavy meal. His favorite meal is calzones. So yeah, so much to go into all of that. But yeah, put a post out and we'll see who's up.
Yeah. All right, guys. That'll do it for us. We'll catch you guys Friday. We got some new cigars in that we're going to be smoking next week with some guests. So I'll make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And we will see you guys then. Y'all have a good one. Y'all take care.
Have a good one, guys.